Welcome to the Covers and Pages podcast, the cozy corner where books come to life. Tune in every week as host Resealisa flips through stories with authors, narrators, and the amazing folks behind your favorite bookstores. So, grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's flip through the pages.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Covers and Pages podcast. My name is Resealisa, and Covers and Pages is all about celebrating authors, narrators, bookstore owners, and book influencers who continue to empower this book space. So, I have a good friend on the line today. Okay, um, I wore my Philly jersey, but you know what? We gonna say that for a conversation for another day. I ain't gonna even bust out. But you know, she from Philly. And one thing about me, I love East Coast people. If you from the East Coast, we locked in.
Period.
I have never met an East Coast person that I didn't like. But let me read her bio, okay? Tequilla Chante is a Philadelphia native, shout out to Philly, who's passionate for writing, began as early as she can recall and was recognized as early as second grade when she won a school-wide writing contest. From then to the present, she uses her gift to write stories that reflect the world around her, giving visibility to the overlooked and understanding to the misrepresentative. I love that. Tequilla creates dynamic layers of existence within her characters and stories that allow people to see themselves and others in the most human way possible. She is also the author of Satin 1 and 2, as well as Summer, a novella. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Covers and Pages podcast, Tequilla Chante.
Thank you for
How
having
you doing, love?
me. Good, you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining me. I am so excited to talk to you, get to know your journey. You and I met on social media.
Yes.
You started following me, and then I went on your page, and I was like, "Ooh, Satin Stone looks good," and it was good. And I was like, "Yeah, let me bring her on. Let me bring her on." So let's start from the beginning. Tell me, how long have you been in this writing space?
Well, writing as an author, it's been since 2023 that like actually published. Satin and Stone was my first novel. So that is fairly new, but writing in general, I went to school for it. I went to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, and I went to school for writing for film and television first. So I had always been writing, like my bio says, since second grade. Writing. But professionally, as an author, self-publishing myself through my company 11/7 Productions. That was October of 2023.
What has been just one of the most challenging things that you have faced being a self-published author?
Honestly, doing it all myself, like I had to literally do so much research, which I'm not opposed to because it reminded me of school a little bit. But I literally had to do everything, like from the cover, because that's a new cover. I redid the cover of the first book because the second book was so pretty, and I was like, oh, I can make a match. But the first book, I can actually show you. Like I had to figure out all of this myself. Like we did a photo shoot. These are my friends. We literally had a whole photo shoot. My cousin who does videography, we did it like guerrilla style. We went to my cousin's apartment. They had a nice little setup. We took pictures. I had to figure out how to lay out, how to make this actually work. I was inside of just Amazon KDP itself. I had to reformat this thing about 12 times just so it could fit properly and stuff wasn't bleeding off the page, formatting like the writing inside the book. I had to learn so much. And then on top of that, LLC, what it looked like to copyright my stuff, what platforms to publish it on. It was a lot that I had to learn. So the biggest struggle was like not really having anybody that I could ask how to do it specifically. So it was a lot of research on me. But in the end, I feel like it gave me a better appreciation of it because it's like I know what it takes to do it from like the bottom to the top. I had nobody doing any of the editing for me, proofing, cover, nothing. But
Mhm.
I have an appreciation for it. So when I hire somebody, I appreciate their work when I'm able to because it's like I know what it takes to do that. So if you can do it and more efficiently than me, honey, I hats off to you.
Right. Where does some of your writing inspiration come from?
Hmm. It's like a half and half thing. I've always been a dreamer, like, and one of my spiritual gifts is like vision and dreaming. But like I've always been a person who loves storytelling. Like as a kid, we would like take the plastic grocery bags and make outfits and like make a whole like stage play. Like I've always loved storytelling. So any way that I could possibly tell a story to like engage the people around me or to make people laugh and stuff, that's always been what I like to do. So when I figured out I could like put it on paper, I was like, oh, I could write this stuff down and other people will read it and they like it. Oh, I could possibly put this on like a screen somewhere. But
Yeah.
as far as like, I would say like technical inspirations, I've always enjoyed writers like August Wilson. I like when people take the mundane and make it expansive. Like a lot of that work is about regular, ordinary people. But when you look at them, you realize there's a whole entire universe inside these small little people that we just overlook day to day. Like plays like Fences or even like the piano lesson. When you watch even the new production of like the movies of those, they're so big and expansive. It feels like a whole thing, but in real life, it's like these are just regular, ordinary people. And I'm like, but those stories exist within us. Those
Right.
big stories exist within those small people we walk by every day. So I enjoyed that. That inspired my style of writing.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Do like have you talked to any of like your family members, just like maybe like holiday conversations, and
Mhm.
someone maybe brought up a story that that happened to them at the grocery store, and you was like, hold on, let me take a little mental note because I may want to write about that a little later on.
You know what's crazy? They try to do that because they know I write. So they're always like,
Mhm.
"Cuz, come here, let me talk to you real quick." So this thing happened, and I feel like this would be funny if you put this in a movie. I usually don't because it's usually the random stuff that like intrigues me. So it'll be something where I'm just like sitting around with my friends and we're having a conversation, or I'm with my family and something normal happens, but it feels like there's something deep that I could pull from it. It'd be moments like that. Like it don't actually be anybody telling me a story, but it'll just be a moment where I'm in and I feel like that's God. Cause sometimes he'll have moments happen where I'll hear something from like the other room and I'll be like, okay, I could do something with that. That sounds like something I'll be like, let me make a note. I'm gonna put that in my next book, or I'm gonna write that, and maybe when I get a TV show, I'm gonna make the character say that because that's funny.
Right, right. Has any of your family members read any of your books?
Yes, actually, my cousin, she's probably the first person to read all of them, and she was not a reader before she read, but now she like my number one advocate, and she's in the beauty and content space. Like she does fashion, lifestyle, Alexa Shante, but now she a reader girly. I was telling her to hook up with you because she just moved to Houston. I was like, well, girl,
Oh,
you got to get
nice.
connected with her so you can get in the book club and everything else and get in the book space because now she is locked in. But other than her, a lot of my family were a part of my original book club with Satin and Stone I did when it first came out back in 2023. And my grandmom, above all, my girl, that's why we locked in. She didn't write everything. She be calling me, telling me, "Oh, girl, you next book. I'm gonna tell you what need to happen next." I'm like, "How you gonna tell me what the care?" I'm just saying, consult me. She's read all of them, and she probably her and my cousin. They be in a race to see who's gonna finish the book, and they be locked in. Like these is the real people. They be cussing me out.
It's the
I'm
real
like,
people.
as
And you
long as
know
they like
what?
it, I love it.
And I love that because it's just a testament that you are writing great stories. When you get so involved in a character, you are
Mm-hmm.
just like you like all in. Y'all you arguing with people back and forth. Like, nah, if they would have did this, they would have did that. That that is an amazing book, and that's a great segue to my next question. In your own opinion, what do you think makes a good story?
Hmm. I think a good story challenges the reader where it doesn't just feel like I can predict what's happening. And that's just me when it comes to writing in general. Like, I like when I'm not able to predict the actions of a character, but I also feel like I know them. So I think I might know what they might do, but I don't want it to be so predictable that I know everything they do. And I feel like it should challenge the way I see the world. Like, one of my greatest examples, I tell people that it's very regular. But like when we watched Insecure and the thing between Issa and Molly, it challenged us in our friendships. It challenged us in our life. Like, am I Issa? Am I Molly? Am I both? If I am showing up as one of these people, how can I adjust? What can I do? Would I have let my friendship die? Would I have fought harder? But I like the fact that it challenged us as viewers to not just be sitting by as bystanders watching. We were involved. So I think that makes a good story when it involves readers.
And I tell people all the time, reading is therapeutic for me. Um, Getting lost in these beautiful stories, chaotic stories, like, and then just picking up the phone and be like, oh my god, girl, did you read this? Oh my god, this happened. Hurry up, get it. Blah 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 blah. Blah. So I always love to tell, any author that I'm talking to, that y'all's books really have saved my life tremendously. Because once again, escaping into a really good book
Yes.
it's gonna always do it for me every single time. So I appreciate the work that you are doing in this
But
book space.
that make it 10 times better, that right there. Because I'm going to tell you real quick, like, I started off as a reader. Like, that was what fueled me to actually even want to, like, write when I got into high school. Because I veered off for a minute and was going into fashion design. It was a very short blip. When you got too many talents, sometimes you forget what to do. But I started off as a reader. Like, I was reading the Terry Woods books and the Wahida Clarks and all of them. Like, that was for me. So I'm like, if I can create that for other people, because I can tell you there are books that I've read and I will read them 100 times. Wahida Clark, hands down, one of my favorite authors.
Yeah.
And I have read her books probably roughly about 50 times a piece. And it's ridiculous. I know what's going to happen, but I'm going to read it. Because
Right.
I understand that space. It's very therapeutic and I love a good story. So I'm a reader first, writer. Actually, they're neck and neck.
Do you like when you're in the middle of a book, do you read someone else's book while you're writing your book?
No, I can't. And I was just thinking about that the other day because my cousin, she actually just started another book and she was telling me, and I'm like, girl, I want to read so much. I've been hearing about Jacques J and all that. I'm like, I want to read so bad, but I'm in the process of writing a new book that's supposed to come out end of the year, and then the third book for Satin and Snow. And I'm like, for me, I can't entangle. I can't even sometimes write two stories at the same time because I'm like,
Hmm.
sometimes my brain will get confused about who said what, whose personality is what, and I was like, I don't want to even subconsciously take anybody else's work and it be inside my work. Like I hear a song, like if I'm working on music and I hear somebody else's song and subconsciously I done put some tunes or lyrics in there, and it's like now look like I'm copying. And it's like no, I just didn't realize I've been reading your book so long that now I'm writing some of that stuff in here. I have to keep the space pure, so I haven't read anything in a couple months. It's been a while.
Oh my gosh, girl, when I tell you I can't go a day without reading. I have to. If I don't read, I am like,
But no, I reread my stuff, so I still get to read. Cause I'll
hey,
write, I'll go through a writing session and I won't stop. So I'll get
yeah.
maybe like a chapter or two out, and then the rereading that's like my little hit. I get to reread when I'm writing.
Hey, a win is a win, right?
Okay.
A win is a win. What's the most surprising thing you learned while writing books? Well, while writing your books, excuse me.
Um, how much of the story expanded when I just allowed myself to write and not plan as much? Because although I'm not a type A, part of my process, I be trying to make it too strict sometimes where like I'll make an entire outline and I'll be like chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what's going to happen chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. Because as you know in Satin and Stone, there's a lot of jumping back and forth. So I'm like, I gotta keep a skeleton so that I know what needs to happen where and how to keep it moving fast paced and suspenseful. But sometimes I just have to allow myself to just stop and just write until it feels good to stop and go to something else. And then I'll just reorganize each section afterwards.
Mhm.
So for me, it was like I realized how much easier it was to write and how much smoother the story went because I had plans for what I want each chapter to be about, and then I'll start writing, and the characters will go a different way. Like I'll be
Yeah.
thinking this gonna happen. Like there have been like it ain't really a spoiler, but somebody died. A lot of people be dying, but somebody died that I didn't expect to die. But I just kept writing. It was like I can't write around this. I want so badly to write around this death, and I can't write around. All right, I guess they dying. But the story be telling itself sometimes.
Yeah. Do you feel like the characters they just speak to you as you writing?
They do. Like I said, I'll be planning for what I want them to talk about and say, but I do so much work on the, like, for me, I'm very character focused when it comes to my writing. If you'll notice, I'm very character specific. So like, I make my entire character and I know their backstory, even if it's not in the book. I know their entire life. So like, I'll be writing and the character will feel like they're saying like, no, I wouldn't say that. And I'll be like, you're right, you wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that. Let me change that. That's what I want you to say, but that's not what you would say. But because I know the character so well, I'm like, this makes sense. They would absolutely do this because of this. But for me, I'll say the time span before even starting to write the book actually was good preparation, because I went to SCAD before it became very like, I don't want to call it multicultural, but before it was more Black people there. I'm gonna just say that. When I went there, I was like a handful of us was there, and that meant I was in class having my work critiqued by people who didn't look like me, who didn't like understand our stories. So I had to spend a lot of time deciphering through what was useful, like okay, actual critique of how I can change the work, and then what was just people's lens where they couldn't see it because they don't understand our stories. And because I had to deal with that, coming into this space is like, I know how to take what works and what I need to actually adjust, and then also look at it from a perspective of like, let me consider the source. This person, if I'm looking at their page and all they like is sci-fi and fantasy, they may not like my work because it's not that. If somebody might like a little more smut, it's, for me, I say sex happens in here the way it naturally happens in the world. Everybody ain't just out boning, and I'm not opposed to that. I done read my share of Zane books. But here is like, when it organically happens, it happens. And it get in
Right.
detail in some places. But like, if it's not organic to the scene, I'm not just going to throw it in there because there are people out there who want more spice. You just will have to read somebody who just has more spice. But so
Right.
I consider the source more.
Book events.
Yeah, the book events. And see, I was not aware of book events. I didn't know nothing about it. I'm like, I feel like a noob, like a whole brand new baby out here. But she
Hmm.
sent me a whole list of them, like, okay, for 2026, because I missed most of them. And some of them I was not going to make it to because this year has been packed. But I was like, now I'm getting in the groove where I actually have rapport and conversations. Another girly on here, Read Well with Chantel. We've been locking in and she's been very supportive and stuff. So social media has helped me with garnering genuine relationship with people who enjoy reading, and I think that's going to be the boost that'll take this thing a lot further.
And shout out to A. Lewis. She is so amazing. I met
Yes,
her
so sweet.
last year. Oh my gosh, she was so sweet. And she recognized me. She was like, "Hey, Reese." I'm like, I be so surprised when an author know my name, like L. Kaysen. I saw her at a book event and she said, "Hey, Reese, girl, you are L. Kaysen.
You know me.
You know me. Okay. Thank you. Hey girl."
Okay. I was very shocked when she reached out. I was like, oh, this is nice. People actually nice out here in the streets. They actually talk to people. When you reached out too, I was like, okay, people is nice out
Yes,
here.
because
Okay.
I just was like, yeah, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know your story, your journey. Just reading Satin and Stone. I was like, yeah, yeah. I want her on my platform. And then I'm a big believer, and I always say this: if we as Black people don't support each other, no one else will.
This is true. Very
So
true.
I do my best with just supporting every single one. No matter if you're an author, an independent bookstore, a narrator, the book influencers, it doesn't matter. Whatever I can do to support. I don't have a big platform, which I know people that's gonna be listening. It's gonna be so mad that I said that. I'm so
I'm about to say,
sorry.
very small.
But however I can use my voice to get your work out, I want to do that. Because once
I
again, like I said
appreciate
early
that.
on in the show, yeah, people just don't understand what people be going through, and to just pick up a book, you
Mm-hmm.
like you don't know, you could be possibly like your work could be possibly pulling one of your readers off of a bridge, you know?
Yeah.
Cause this world is just, it's so crazy. It's so just messed up. Every day is something different.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and I think it's just such a beautiful thing from going back to like when I picked up my first Carl Wilber book, right? It wasn't a lot of black
Mhm.
authors on the scene to
Yeah.
now 2025.
Okay.
I can't even keep up, honey.
Taking
I get
over.
anxiety. Cause I'm just like, can y'all authors just stop dropping books? I cannot keep up.
No, and the ones who be writing faster than I can, like I be seeing some authors, they be dropping stuff every other week, and I'm like, I would hope nobody don't expect that quickly from me because I need a
Yeah.
couple months. I need some months between. I need about 6 months. Give me about 6 at least.
Okay, so let me ask you this question.
Mm.
If you could have dinner with any author, living or dead, who would it be and why?
It'd probably be Wahida Clark. I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite authors, and I like. I'm a stickler, and my cousins hate it about me is because a good story is a good story, and whether it's a book or it's a TV show or a movie, if it's not good, I'm not gonna finish it. I'm just gonna turn it off because like
Mhm.
you can't just give me glitz and glamour. You can't just give me flash bang and action. You got to give me some story. What are we talking about here? What am I learning here? What are you like? What are we getting out of this? So like with her books, I've always felt like her books are what Power tried to be, and I love the show Power. But like her books took like a show like Power and those elements and it elevated it because the women had just as much like storyline as the men, and it was so intricate because it had romance, it had crime drama in it, it had suspense, it had different forms of narration from one book to the next. Like it was very much like a suspenseful thriller read in a time where they were just calling it urban. Like these is just urban street lit books. And it's like, okay, they are, but no, this is great writing. I would love if the Lord give me the chance to help her or buy the rights to turn it into a show. Because when I say her Thug series is probably my favorite, I would love to sit down and just talk about the whole series with her, which I've tried on many occasions. We didn't send some emails back and forth. I didn't send her casting list of like this who I think should play what. I was that reader. I was
Yeah.
not just gonna sit down and be quiet. Oh, I was absolutely on Twitter like, "Hey, girl," and she responded a few times. So
I love that because that is a great segue into the next question, honey. We're going to talk about Satin and Stone. We're not going to give out no
period.
spoilers. Okay. What was the inspiration behind this book?
You know what? It's been so long. I have to really think about it because I literally started writing at what 2013, 2012. Like I have the original composition book. It was 2012 when I started writing it. It originally just started with the two main characters, Xavier and Leah. Like the story that you have now, that grew over time, which I guess it was divine timing that it took 12 years because as I grew, the story grew because this is not the original book. This is a manifestation of like years of like reworking and like life happening and taking stuff from my own personal life. But the original was just their love story, and I wanted it to be a love story where it was like the woman didn't fall first and the guy was kind of misrepresented in his like first impression. Like she saw him and he wasn't who she thought he was, but then some part of him was, and I wanted it to be complicated. Like my favorite thing to do in writing is to make it difficult to figure out who the villain is. So I wanted a love story, but I also wanted the complexity of like who's in the wrong here, and then
Right.
that grew from like her friends to his friends, and I was like, oh, let's add some more people, and the story just it kept growing.
So the same way you asked, you gave Juanita Clark your casting, okay? I have to ask the same question. If you were to cast Xavier and Leah, who would it be?
Honey, that's easy because I'm telling you now, if you go on my website, it's a whole section. In the extras, it's a whole section because I've been casting this thing from day one. I'm gonna tell you now. Malia and Zenga Imani, she got the job. She don't even have to audition. From Sisters, she
Yeah.
got it. She ain't got to audition. Now, Xavier, in my mind, it's a cross between Trevante Rhodes
Hmm.
or Lance Gross. It's like depending
Nice.
on which
I
type
can
of
see
vibe.
it. I can see it.
Yeah, which type of vibe do we want? Like, because Xavier is supposed to come across like he gives resting bitch face. He gives RBF, but he really is sweet. He's just so handsome that he can't be out here smiling all the time because people think it's sweet. So I'm like, Trevante Rhodes kind of gives that because we've seen him in roles when he's been a little sweeter, like in the movie Bird Box. But then I was like, Lance Gross also gives that because we've seen him on all the Tyler Perry stuff as very sweet and goofy, but then he has a serious side. So I was like, either one of them, depending on which way, they could definitely bring Xavier to life.
How much of yourself is in this book?
Um, a lot. And it's not even in one character because somebody else asked me, it was like, which character are you more like? And I'm like, honestly, I'm in all of them. I'm a little bit of Sky. I'm a little bit of the therapist friend that everybody comes to for advice and help. And I'm the level headed one that's always like, maybe you shouldn't do that because that sounds like a trauma response. Then I'm also a little bit of Karina where I'm definitely the friend you call and you just got to say 2 words and I'm already in the car. Braids is braided, wig is off, and it's time to ride. And then I'm Malia where I'm hyper independent and I'm so focused on work that I don't even see men. I've had situations where a man is flirting with me and my friends had to tell me. I'm like, girl, I'm not paying him no mind. I'm focused on what I'm doing. So, and then I'm a little Lisa where it's like, I'm trying to have a little best of both worlds, trying to manage family life, but I'm also trying to be a boss and do all the things myself and
Okay.
needing a break. But a little bit, and even in the guys, because Khalil was very much me. I was very much a young, angry teen at one point in my life.
Mm.
So I'm a little bit of all of them.
Well, let me say, baby, good book. I have not
Thank
had the opportunity to read book two, but I'm definitely going to get it. If you all have
you.
not read Satin and Stone one and two, uh, go and get it. It's
Yeah,
available. KU. Um, there it is.
that's
If you are
number
watching
two.
on Yes, if you are watching on YouTube and Spotify, she just put it up. So before we wrap up, just tell me what's next for you.
For me, well, I do have the sequel that I'm writing to Summer. This is Summer, but I'm writing the sequel to Summer. I can't say what the name is because it kind of spoils something, so you got to read the book to know what the sequel is called. But I'm also writing another book. It's called Her Him. It started off on the Kindlevella platform, and I took it off of there because they closed it on Amazon. They ended up not keeping it. They just did it like a beta rollout. So writing that book completely, it'll be another novella that'll be coming out sometime towards the end of the year. And prayerfully, I'll be able to create some visuals because I do have some friends still in the film and television space, like on the independent level, trying to get back in connection with some of my friends and seeing if they want to, do some work together and create at least some shorts or some reels for some of the work because I want to branch out from the AI thing and kind of really
Yeah.
bring some more like live action stuff. But Lord willing, it'll be a good enough pilot that I can shop it somewhere and we'll get us a show. I'm just reaching big.
Hello.
They say shoot for
Hello.
the stars, you land on the moon. So that's where I'm shooting.
Okay. And whatever I can do, please. I'm
I
just one
appreciate
DM
it.
away. I am one DM and one email away.
I, look, I appreciate it. Just continue support me the way you have. I appreciate all the help and support because I was not expecting anything going into this. I'm like, I hope people like it, but I'm like, I don't want nobody to feel like they gotta do anything. I'm gonna just let people do if they want to help, if they
Yeah.
can. But I was like, I don't want nobody to feel pressure like I'm one of those entitled authors that's like, you gotta read my book and y'all don't never support me. I said, no, when it's my turn, it'll be my turn. Everybody
Right.
gotta wait their turn.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at author Tequilla Chante. So that's author TEQUILL as 2 L's in tequila for me, and Chante with the CHANTE, and just regular Tequilla Chante without the author. That's my main page, but the author page is my professional page, and also at Satin and Stone Novel. It's spelled exactly how it sounds: Satin, AND, Stone, novel, Novel. That's where you can find all the Satin and Stone content and things like that.
Love that. Is there anything else you want to add in before we get ready to close out?
Um, I'll leave the listeners and viewers with this. When you do read it, I hope that you read with a broad lens, so that you're able to not just walk away entertained, but actually walk away challenged and fulfilled in some area. Find a character where you see yourself, if it's multiple characters, but I want you to be able to walk through the experience having been challenged and come out with something more, so that it's not just entertainment, but it's actually like uplifting and encourages growth for you. Because that's the intention behind all of my work, is to shine a light on the parts of us that we often ignore and give room for people to see themselves in a safe way.
I love that. I love that. Thank you
Thank you.
for joining me. This was a great conversation. I will be having you back, especially when the third book drops.
Yes, I'm
Uh,
working on that.
yes, thank you, everyone. Thank y'all for tuning in to Covers and Pages podcast. Go follow the author, follow me. Go and pick up Satin and Stone 1 and 2. Summer is on Audible if you are audiobook listener. Okay. Go get into my girl's catalog. She's a great author. She's doing big things out here, and just go run those numbers up, okay? Like I always tell y'all, go and buy the book. Go and buy the book. Thank you, everyone. That is it. This is Covers and Pages podcast.
That's a wrap on this chapter of the Covers and Pages podcast. If you loved today's conversation, don't forget to follow, rate, and share the podcast with your fellow book lovers. You can also find us on Instagram at Covers and Pages Podcast. Follow the host at resealisareads on social media. Until next time, keep reading, keep listening, and keep turning those pages.